Morning, folks. It's another piggy day. It's Sunday. It's a little cool out here, but not too bad. Kind of nice. Looks like it might have rained last night. That's all right. You might see the back end of the car right there. It's sitting in the yard. You look over. I've also got the van sitting over there. Reason why is because this next week, allegedly, this driveway is supposed to get a front end loader put to it and then some gravel put down on it. So that'll be a good thing. Some things are getting done. Not that it'll do me much good here. Should some things happen. And that's all right. Well, folks, Piggy's going to tell y'all a little story quick as I possibly can. I don't know how short I will be. I'm not known for my brevity. I'm usually long-winded. But I like to get detailed in what I say because exactness of communication conveys thought much better than just throwing it out there, you know what I mean, throwing it out there, you know what I mean. A lot of times, no, I probably don't know what you mean. So I try not to be like that unless it's somebody who really knows me and knows where I'm going with something. And, anyway, going to tell you a little story about a young piggy. Young piggy, when he was 17, just turned 18, had him a car. It was a 76 Pinto. Boy, it was a nice old car. The thing come stock with a 1600cc one barrel automatic. Well, folks, this thing here came with a 2300cc two barrel, 4 on the floor, posse track rear end. It was built to run. I gotta let some kitties in. In or out, Swinger? Alright, I guess out for now. Anyway, like I said, it was built to run. I outrun some Porsches in that thing. You might not believe that. Well, you got to take into account two things. One, that Pinto was built to run. Two, the drivers of those Porsches didn't really know what they had, didn't really know how to use it. Anyhow, and that makes for a situation where I blew their doors off. Well, I had a girlfriend. One night I stayed too late. Was too tired to drive. I tried to drive anyway, you know, young, dumb, cocky, full of myself, all like that. Oh, I can do it. Well, a lot of windy, curvy roads around there, and at one point I felt my hands come off the steering wheel. I looked up to see a power pole coming my way. That power pole was up on a little embankment, so it went uphill to hit. So when it hit up high, bounced off, come back, and hit low. There was a spider web crack in the windshield. Because when I fell asleep, my foot went flat on the gas. And in a car like that, speed limit is 35. I'm guessing I was probably doing a good 70, 80 when I hit. A state trooper later on did me a favor and wrote it down as doing 35. There's a reason for that. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. The center of the spider web crack in that windshield lined up exactly with the highest point of my forehead. My steering wheel had been pushed over to the driver's side door. It was almost, if not touching. Back part of my back seat was laying in the back seat. My console was broke. The top and bottom of my bucket seat was broke. There was a gash in the dashboard right next to the radio. The knob to the radio was off. That's where my knee went. Had it hit that knob, my knee would have been busted all up. No, it just went into the dash beside the radio. The hood was roller coastered up. You could look in it. You could see the battery that sat in the back right, and it was sitting in the front right. It had been torn loose from its cables. All the driving rods underneath the thing had been snapped in two like little toothpicks. And I walked away with a bruise on my shoulder, right shoulder, and a bruise on my right knee. I got a ride to a phone. Called my folks, said, "What's up?" And then called my girlfriend, was talking to her, and I saw a car come into the parking lot, and I looked at him. I could tell he was a detective, and I waved at him, let him know it was me, and everything. Well, my folks had pulled up pretty much right behind him. And folks, keep in mind, it's a good 15 minutes to where I was at from here. And that's if you're going pretty good. My folks got there in about 5-6 minutes. My stepdad at the time had a big old truck he called Big Blue, and he had a big old 390 in it. He used to build race car engines, and he could drive. I'll just say that. Well, the state trooper that was talking to me, and he asked me, he said, "You was wearing your seatbelt?" And I said, "No, sir." He took a step back. He said, "Son, I've been on the force for 13 years, seen folks wearing their seatbelts not survive a crash like that. And you're telling me you weren't wearing yours?" "Yes, sir." He took another step back. When I walked into the police station, there was a little half wall with glass the rest of the way up, and that was the dispatch room. There's a couple of young girls in there, and one of them hugged up to the radio. They both saw me, their eyes got big. One hugged up to the radio, and the other one left the room. Well, that state trooper thought he'd seen a ghost. That's why he wrote down I was driving 35. He done me a favor. You know, he'd asked me if I'd been drinking. I told him, I said, "No, sir." I said, "I just got too tired to drive and tried to drive anyway." So I was honest with him. That helped. A little while later, you know, I remembered why I was here. As I was headed towards that windshield, I could see out into the night sky, and I saw the little purplish blue light, little dot of it. Before I hit that windshield, that light had come through the windshield where the center of that spiderweb crack was. Wrapped around my head and shoulders and pushed me back and down. That's why my bucket seat was broke and my knee went through the dash. And that's why I walked away with just a bruise on my shoulder and my knee. Now, folks can talk about there is no God. Folks can be mad at God and not appreciate, much less worship Him and acknowledge Him for something they didn't get in their life. And somewhat deny there's a God in that way. But folks, that right there is just one of an innumerable amount of events where God has saved my stupid butt from myself. Because he had a purpose for me. That's why I'm still here. That's why I went through things I went through. He has something for me to do. So people can talk about the hate of God. I want to say prove there's God. Well, that right there is proof. I tell folks, prove to me he don't. Prove to me that all this is not intelligent design. Run the numbers on DNA, on the odds of just one strand of DNA being able to come about just by sheer chance and chaos. It is a mathematical impossibility that has been done by some who are good at math. It is a mathematical impossibility. But again, that's just one of many things in my life where God has protected me because he had something for me to do. And tell you how bad I hit that power pole. You can look up and see 5 chunks poked out like it was a toothpick or a straw that had been pushed down on and poofed out in the middle. But this happened on a very late night Saturday night. And before lunch the following Monday, that pole had been replaced. That's how bad I hit that power pole. That's how hard I hit that power pole. Steering wheel to the door, no seat belt. I was supposed to be between the car and the bottom of that power pole. I was supposed to be a closed casket. And here I am telling y'all about it today. God exists, y'all. He's there. He's worthy. Piggy loves shit.